Welcome. This is Shakti Carola Nevrin, your host for today, and I'm an online astrologer. Online because I live on this tiny little island in Hawaii on Maui, so I do most of my work online. I have been an astrologer for a very long time now, like 35 years, and so long I do it, so more passionate and excited I get about it. So today I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation for you about the full moon in Aquarius, which is actually the second one in a row, which makes it really kind of important. So the universe is kind of pushing a point here. So these are also kind of more general teachings about Aquarian energy. So if you have the sun, the moon, or other planets in Aquarius, I believe you will benefit and enjoy this. I like to share a little bit about forecast astrology and what we're doing here. In mundane astrology, we look at possible events with forecasts describing the astrological general climate at a given time. So mundane astrology is the astrology of worldly events. In counseling astrology, on the other hand, we look into the time quality of a given moment, like the beginning of something. We look at the quality of that moment in time. And this can be a contract signed, a marriage starting, a baby born. So what we do, we look at that beginning moment, that seeding moment of what will unfold. And then we can tell a lot about the particularities of that event, the unfolding of which qualities will be there, which potentials, which challenges are born in that seeding moment of time. So of course the seed always contains already the potentiality of what can grow out of that seed. So something else will grow out of a tomato seed than out of an avocado seed. And they also look very different, of course. But the most interesting thing is happening when we combine both the mundane and the personal astrology. So it's the most interesting and complex use when we look at the interaction of what we call the transits. This is where the planets are in the moment in the sky, and the planets where they were in the moment of your birth. This is where you can see your evolutionary journey unfolding, and this is where it gets actually really exciting. My monthly forecast videos are a great way for you to learn and deepen your astrological knowledge. When I do these monthly overview forecasts, I will teach you about the general astrological principles involved and how you can use those energies for yourself in the coming months. Like today, you will learn about Aquarius. I will give you an overview about the general astrological weather you will be exposed to and if you will need an umbrella or not. But I also want you to keep in mind that astrology can get very, very specific. And the general astrological climate will infiltrate your birth chart, will activate different aspects of your birth chart represented by the planets. So, of course, if you have already experience as an astrologer yourself or with astrology, what you can do to get the specifics is you project the planets around the birth chart. And then you can see how every planet up there will connect or influence aspects in your inner chart. And this is when it gets very personal and very intricate. So this is where the art of astrology comes into play. So you can also, of course, come for a personal reading and get a more in-depth view about different areas in your life and how they're actualized. So it could be for your professional life, your home life, your relationships, your spiritual journey. So these are all areas where astrology can be very helpful. But now I don't want to talk any longer. Just head over with me to your PowerPoint presentation and I hope you will enjoy. So this is Shakti again. Welcome over here. So I am what we call an evolutionary astrologer. And I do believe that we are ancient immortal souls moving through countless of lifetimes in order to grow into higher states of consciousness and to get to some place of self-realization. So astrology, in my experience, especially in the individual birth chart, is a fantastic tool to gain that higher perspective, that overview of who you are and where you are in your journey. So in evolutionary astrology, we look into the karma that brought you here. We can look at what you want to learn, what you want to heal, where there is trauma which needs your specific attention. So basically, when we look from the evolutionary astrology perspective, we can gain that deep insight into why we are the person we are, that person with all these particularities, all those specific qualities and gifts and skills we already bring with us, but also with all the challenges we have. And understanding a little bit more about that definitely helps. So the art of astrology is actually an ancient wisdom path, a path of inquiry, of having a more objective perspective onto life, onto ourselves. And it uses the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. So we kind of postulate that whatever we can read up there in the horizon, wherever the planets are in which sign and how they interrelate with each other, that this correlates to who we are as a person, and especially to our birth chart, which kind of contains that seeding moment, that beginning of life. When we do the mundane astrology, the moon astrology has really a special place in my heart, because the moon has so much to do with how we feel and how our inner attunement is to our inner world, this mystical realm of feelings and this more illogical ways how we approach things in our life. So it helps a lot to just know where the current moon is and how it interfaces with our planets and our chart. And just the fact that the full moon is so obviously impactful for all of us, with sleepless nights and the cats go crazy out there and the tides are up. And so there's obviously a very strong interrelation between our own inner psyche and the moon. So that's where moon astrology really is a good way to learn about yourself and to learn a little bit more about astrology. So today I want to talk especially about the second time we have the full moon in Aquarius, which will be August 20th or 21st, depending on where you are on the planet. So the first one was July 22nd last month, and it was in the very beginning of Aquarius. Now it's at the very end at 28 degrees in Aquarius. And whenever we have two full moons in the same sign, it's like the universe is really telling us this is something you need to integrate, this is something you want to learn about. Obviously, we will be discussing the full moon in Aquarius, but to do that, we need to discuss the Aquarian personality. So if you have the sun in Aquarius or other planets, that is of interest for you as well. And of course, as usual, my intention is to give you some very practical suggestions how you can benefit and use these energies, the Aquarian energies, and how you can then be having a great ride on the cosmic wave, the current planetary energies. This is how we do it in Hawaii, and you can tell that this might be a lot of fun. And we living so close to the ocean here, we know that it's kind of impossible to fight the wave. So, but it can be very exhilarating and fun to learn how to ride the wave. So that's my intention with doing the forecast astrology, to give you kind of a feel for what's coming at you this month, what specific kind of waves are happening, and then you can sail it in a beautiful way and enjoy the ride. So this is how the chart for the full moon looks like, done for San Francisco, August 20th, 6:44 p.m. In San Francisco, California. So for the full moon to be in Aquarius, of course, the sun has to be in Leo. And shortly after the full moon, the moon will be in conjunction with Neptune, which really will make you very sensitized to your inner emotions. You might feel more vulnerable than usual in your relationships. So also the Mercury is almost simultaneously in conjunction with the Sun. So there is kind of this possibility of complementing the forces of the mind, our intellect, our head, with that more internal dimensions of the moon, of the feelings. So in general, the moon in your chart, it's where everything starts, of course, and it describes your inner moods, your needs. So first of all, the moon in your chart is your heart and your soul. It is kind of your emotional filter to the world, how you feel things, how you experience the world and others. Also, the moon in your chart symbolizes the principle of the Great Mother, the nourishing spirit, the healer, or the shepherd. So these are all archetypes symbolizing the nourishing qualities we all have. But then the flip side of that is that we all have also the part where we need nourishment. So the inner child. So the moon actually describes both aspects, the inner mother and the inner child. And we need to find ways to express both in order to feel balanced. The moon in your chart is also representing your inner world, where all your inspiration is coming from. So we can call it the creative fountain. And I've seen a lot of charts with clients of mine who have been artists or very creative, and they all have a very strong moon, like a moon in Cancer, for example, makes for a lot of inner connectivity to that inner fountain. Also, the position of the moon in your chart will tell you what you need in order to feel joy and happiness. So in that way, we could say the moon is the source of your joy and happiness. So we do need to act according to what the moon needs in order to be safe and in order to be happy. So this full moon in Aquarius is very special because it's the second one in the same sign. So we're getting some real second chances here, what we haven't learned last month in the way of Aquarian spirit, what we haven't integrated yet, we get another chance. So the Aquarian archetype is often depicted as this figure with pouring out the water. So a lot of people actually think that Aquarius is a water sign, but actually it's a sign of air, and it is ruled by Uranus. So let's discuss the Uranian personality a little bit more, because that will kind of help you to understand what are the potential qualities you want to integrate more deeply into your overall personality this month. So first of all, when I think Aquarian personality, I think about the aspect of being an outsider, gathering experience outside the mainstream, the consensual reality. And this is how it might look like. You feel like you look different, you are different. So another aspect of that is that people outside that mainstream way of thinking and doing things They can become a person carrying that revolutionary stream of ideas. They can become the rebel. They can be the nonconformist. They carry the vision, so they are the daring visionary. So with all that, you can become the role model for others. You are different, and because of that, you have something to contribute. So Aquarius is all about thinking out of the box. Remember, we said it's air, so air is very related to our mental abilities to be neutral between things, flexible. And here it plays out with Aquarius with mental flexibility to go to the cutting edge, to think new thoughts, to think outside of the mainstream paradigm. Like Albert Einstein. I mean, he was somebody who definitely pushed the envelope of his time in a scientific way, and he had an out-of-bound moon, which is a very Aquarian quality to have. So these are forerunners, these are people who can make a difference. So the Aquarian personality values independence and freedom. So when you are an Aquarius, you learn to overcome the need for approval. So that's where you thrive when you have reached that state that just your own dance, your own process, your own individuating process, when that's in the foreground. Not so much the question of, do I fit in? Do others approve of me? So it's really about independence of your spirit, and also understanding the independence and need for freedom for other people. So it's a deeply respectful sign because of that. So the shadow part of Aquarius, when Aquarius gets traumatized, it retrieves into coldness, aloofness, and dissociation. So this is good to know that if you are an Aquarius, when you find yourself in those places, you know that this is more like the low end of expression, and there are higher ways to deal with it. So again, you are the duck who stands out, looks different, and that carries the seed of genius. So how to ride the wave with Aquarian projects this month has to do with that. So it's about finding that seed of genius inside of yourself. And we all have that. We all have an Aquarian sign in our chart, even if we don't have planets in it. So this month it's really about trusting that. Be colorful, be weird, be different. So there's a seed of genius which wants to flower here. Also, another project for you is all around authenticity. So it's about following your own heart, following your own guidance. Be playful, dance in the street, do things which you love to do. The third area is the area of individuation and following your soul's guidance. So for that, we need to calm down. We need those moments of stillness. It can just be a formal meditation. It can just be sitting, gazing at the ocean. It can be sitting with a cup of tea and just allowing your mind to slow down from those super busy days we all have. So only in that moments of stillness, of slowing down, we can hear our soul speaking to us. We can hear our higher guidance. So this is something you want to create more space for this month. Another aspect is that you want to find your tribe. Of course, it's not an easy journey to find yourself always in a situation where you don't fit in, where you feel you're different, nobody understands you, and then you feel lonely and unappreciated. So it is very helpful for Aquarian people and the Aquarian spirit to find like-minded souls, people who are as weird and queer and different and colorful and genius as you are. So make an effort this month to go out, to reach out, to meet new people. So how to ride the wave in general? How can you grow into that new level of success with a more fulfilling and more meaningful life? So first of all, I would say do things different than you usually do them. Break your own patterns. Expand out of your box, which often means you have to expand out of your comfort zone. And go out, make new friends. So these are the areas I would suggest you play with this month, especially because Aquarian energies are there a second time. So trust your inner guidance. Find that inner genius. Go out, find new friends. If you like my forecasts, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. But also you might want to go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, because you get different information there. And also if you sign up on my website, you will get a free report for your love stone based on your personal astrology, on your birth chart. So you will get a link sent, and then you can put your astrological information in, and the program works it for you. So that's a nice way to know which is the stone healing and supporting your heart. And also, if you're on my newsletter list, I will inform you when I get started with my beginner classes teaching astrology. So if you like this, please like me. It's under the video. This is me again. So this is how you can reach me for astrological readings. You know, I do online readings through Skype, which is actually a lot of fun to do. So you can reach me in Hawaii, 808-878-8182, or head over to my website, mauiastrologyreading.com, and connect with me. So I'm looking forward, and thank you for joining and hanging out with me. And I hope to see you soon again. And aloha.